Each week, American History TV's Real America brings you archival films that provide context for today's public affairs issues.
This is Washington, D.C., official capital of the United States, unofficial capital of the free world, where the people of Massachusetts visit today with Senator and Mrs. John F. Kennedy. In this historic building, each Senate legislative battle reaches its dramatic climax. It is here that a bill is debated. It is here that Senator Kennedy and his colleagues vote on its merits. The place where Senator Kennedy keeps his fingers on the pulse beat of Massachusetts, however, is the Senate Office Building, a handsome white marble structure just across historic Constitution Avenue from the Capitol. Here, most committees, all senators, and the Vice President of the United States maintain their actual working headquarters. It is here that scores of Massachusetts visitors and hundreds of Massachusetts letters, telegrams, and telephone calls are received each day in Senator Kennedy's bustling office. Senator Kennedy, could I ask you a few questions?
Oh, yes, surely, girls. Do you excuse me?
Senator, won't you tell us about some of the interesting objects surrounding you here?
Yes, I'd be glad to. This, of course, is a picture of my wife, Jackie, and my daughter, Caroline. Up here we have a picture of former President Truman and a letter from him. And then here we have a picture of former President Hoover. I was chairman of the Subcommittee on Reorganization, which considered all the Hoover Commission recommendations. We passed about 30 of them in the Senate, and he expressed his appreciation, as I believe it's done a good deal for economy. This is a model of a PT boat on which I served, PT 109, in which I served during the war. And of course, this is the Democratic donkey.
What about that coconut on your desk? That's a rather interesting object.
Well, our PT boat was sunk by a Japanese destroyer, and we found a native and gave him a coconut, which he took through the lines and wrote a message on it. The boats came and picked us up about 10 days later, and I put the coconut in plastic and have kept it as a memento of more unpleasant days.
Senator, we note that your office is filled also with objects to recall your legislative as well as your military battles.
Well, here on my desk are many of the bills which I've introduced on behalf of Massachusetts. Of course, on many of them, I've had the close cooperation of my senior colleague, Senator Saltonstall.
To illustrate another area in which Senator Kennedy has attempted to preserve the historic concepts of this nation and look after the interests of individuals, let's talk with Salvatore Tusa of Medford, Massachusetts. Mr. Tusa's niece will translate.
I am Mrs. Ruvito, Mr. Tusa's niece. My uncle said he came into this country in 1955, but was not able to take his family with him. Through Mr. Kennedy's efforts, he was reunited in this wonderful country of ours, and he wishes to thank Senator Kennedy very much.
Other families, like the Tusas, now can be brought together in America as a result of Senator Kennedy's bill revising the McCarran-Walter Immigration Act. The Kennedy bill opens this nation's doors wider to peoples from friendly countries seeking safety and refuge here. Between 60 and 70,000 refugees, orphans, and escapees from tyranny will enter the United States under this law. Pleasure to have you here, and I want you to meet my daughter Caroline and my wife Jackie.
How do you do? I'm glad you had a chance to see something of the Senate, and now to see our house where we've lived a year, and since Caroline was born. And I look forward to meeting all of you this fall as soon as the Senate is out, and we'll be back in Massachusetts.